our hearts here at our cabin. The barn and the house that you're looking at have been lifelong family friends. This was their farm for generations. But they've now passed away and the house was sold. And 5 years ago, we came here on a Labor Day weekend. It was the first Sunday that after Paul was finished at our last church. And here we were, our first weekend. Our children all lived at a distance. Our grandchildren weren't near us. We had just left our church of 25 years, and we were kind of like a man without a country. We came here, we felt a little friendless, a little churchless, a little familyless. And this farm of our friends had just been sold. And I was curious, like, oh, let's ride by Carl and Hazel's and see who's moved in or whatever. And we came and didn't look like anybody had moved in. So we just stopped alongside of the White House you see in the background and just kind of sitting in the car looking. And I said, I'm going to take a picture of the house and send it to my sister because we have such fond memories here of this place and this farm and these people. And before we knew it, coming up the yard is an Amishman and his little boy and said, can I help you? Are you looking for anything? Of course, I quickly put my camera away as the Amish do not like their pictures being taken. And so anyway, I explained that this had been a family friend for years, and they said, oh, well, we live next door, and we just bought this house. And so started a friendship 5 years ago. And that weekend, little did we know, we got a new family, new friends. On Sunday, we found a new church, and so in one weekend, we had all these new situations in our life. And so got to know these dear folks here at that time. Let's see, our friends had a son, an older son, an older daughter, a little boy that came with his dad. He might have been 4 or 5 at that time. And he said, oh, well, you wanted me to meet my wife and my other children. And so we met them. And it was just an instant blending of people. And this Amish family has become like an adopted family to us, like children and grandchildren. And so we love coming to our cabin and being with our friends here. A few years after we met our friends, there was a tragic house fire here. And I will tell you more about that story in a moment. This is the view of my Amish family's house on January 10th, 2019. It was a beautiful but very cold day, very blustery. And this is a view from the back of their house. Sarah was busy in her soap kitchen making soap, and the wind was blowing from the west, so she didn't notice anything unusual. She was at home with her young son that was 5 years old and her 8-week-old baby girl, the one I had just been holding a week or two before and rocking and singing to. Things totally changed that morning. She decided she needed to run up to the upstairs into the living room, and when she got up there and looked out the window, she thought it might be snowing. Is it snow? Or it looks like smoke? Or what am I smelling? She soon realized that the house was on fire. One of the girls helping her make soap ran to an Amish neighbor and called 911. They were there. The fire company was there within 7 minutes, but the damage was immense. It was just a windy day that the fire just was fed and fed. Thankfully, the rest of the family was not at home. The husband was at work. Their teenage son was hunting. Their younger daughter was at school. But as she was waiting for help to arrive, Sarah ran and grabbed as many clothes as she could out of each closet. Her helper in the soap kitchen, Sarah said, grab anything you can out of the desk. Grab our safe. By then, a neighbor came. They started dragging as much as they could out of the house. A neighbor from another farm came and started helping drag things out. Another Amish family nearby took the 2 smaller children. They were able to drag out a kitchen table and chairs and a dry sink that they used for a changing table. They were able to empty all of the closets but one. They didn't get any shoes, so everybody was pretty shoeless other than what they had on. They got out a rocker. It was a chimney fire that had started up in the attic. The husband got home about an hour after the fire started. He tried a door at the end of the house that was always locked, but there was no fire at that end of the house. Sure enough, on that day, the door opened. He was able to go in, drag out most of the things that were in the soak kitchen. All of their canning items from the summer were able to be saved. So much was unable to be saved, as you can see in these pictures, but it was just amazing, the items that they did get out. The fact that all of them got out. Here's a picture of their kitchen on the left. And here are some things out in the yard. People were able to drag out all the things in their kitchen cabinets. Here's their canning items. And the day was just amazing. The way people came. Here's bars of her soap that she's made. She has a soap business. And here it is already within hours of the fire when they started to tear down the house. That was unstable, could not be saved, and they had to leave one wall so that the insurance inspectors could come and see it before they put everything, tore everything down. Within hours that morning, our friends, Melvin's dad called and left a message on our phone about this horrible fire. The house was totally lost, the damage, how terrible it was, but in all of his excitement, he forgot to tell us if everybody was okay. Then we got this message. We had no way of contacting them. Everybody was at the fire, and it was just hours of, it was just terrible. I left message after message at different places, just trying to find out if everybody was okay. We were so worried about the 4 children. The Amish community is amazing how they come and help in droves. And by that first night, the house was nothing but a hole in the ground. Just the old basement was there. But already their neighbor, Amish neighbor, a whole kitchen was built in an extra building that they had on their property. And Amish women came and cooked around the clock. And they were feeding hundreds of people, firemen, community people, all the Amish families. People kept driving up, dropping off food items, and it was just amazing how much was accomplished. They were feeding maybe 50 to 100 people every 2 hours. It was breakfast, lunch, dinner. There was an evening snack, a mid-morning snack, an afternoon snack. It was just amazing. By the next day, all the rubble was removed, and then began a quiet week, waiting for permits. 6 days after the fire, permits in hand, the walls were built for a new basement. On January 17th, 7 days after the fire, was the house raising. In just a day, they had the exterior of the house done. We were there early in the morning, all afternoon, and we left when it started snowing at night, and it was all under, the exterior walls were done by then. Until you actually see a house raising, it's just amazing. Over 100 Amish men worked from early morning, it was still dark, until very late into the night to make this all happen. The women, all the food that they cooked for all of these people, it was just amazing. By noon, they had the first floor pretty much done. One of my most poignant memories of that afternoon was when Sarah asked Paul and I to go pick up their almost 12-year-old daughter from school. When I got to school and when she came out, we just hugged each other, started crying. I was just so thrilled to have her in my arms and to know and touch her that she was safe. Neither one of us will ever forget that moment. By afternoon, it started to get cloudy, but we were so excited to see the flooring going on for the second floor. And then it got darker in the afternoon. The men just kept working feverishly to get that second floor started. It was supper time, but they worked in shifts. They were determined to get this house finished on the exterior on day 1. Making progress on the second floor, and as you can see, it has started to snow. We left as it was snowing like crazy at the end of the evening. They kept working way into the middle of the night, but we were just so excited to leave and see the progress that had been made just in one day. It was pretty amazing. On the 18th and 19th, they were really working under pressure. They were now calling for a snowstorm on Saturday night. Of course, there would be no work on Sunday, and so can we get this house finished by Saturday night, get the heater in so everything would be safe? They worked till the wee hours, but the home was finished. They were able to move in on February the 7th. 4 weeks to the day from the fire. How wonderful for us that the following weekend we visited them and spent the weekend in their new house with this family of 6. How thankful we were for the new house and that everyone was safe. Since the fire, we've been blessed with another baby girl. They're now a family of 7. Mom and Dad, 3 girls and 2 boys. This is our Amish family's house today. I love all Sarah's beautiful flower gardens. See some of their pets. And I just want to walk around and show you some of her gorgeous flowers. She has a green thumb, but I do not have. And so, here's just as we enter the house. And I'm just going to walk here, so it's going to be a little bouncy, but see beautiful floral vines going up the ladder. And you can hear all the chitter chatter inside. And many a picnic we have had on this porch here. There's their little dog Casey. And there's another. We just had some puppies. There's a puppy. And yes, many a wonderful meal grilled on that grill and enjoyed on this porch and enjoyed on this lovely view of a farm. Across the street are more acreage. Our friends, Carl and Hazel, owned all of this land. Our Amish family has just bought the parcel that the barn and the house is on. It was next door to their house. So that's over there. That's our car. So, gorgeous view. Oh man, it's the perfect fall weekend. We're celebrating my husband's good health and checkup this week, 2 weeks following his heart surgery. This flower bed is the only thing that is still here from the house before the fire. Matter of fact, some part of it was the sand mound, and now she has planted all of these flowers, and they're amazing. We've enjoyed watermelon from her garden this weekend. There in the middle is she's a broccoli cauliflower. I'm going to keep these from she has such a variety of colors, and I'm amazed that I know what to do. I still have many more. Surrounds everything here on the little walkway to the garden. This time of year. Look at the size of these tomatoes. They're huge. Okay, here we are. My friend is fixing us breakfast stew. Now tell me the steps. You've been out here for like an hour. What have you been doing?
First I put the bacon in. Okay, then I put bacon in for about 15 minutes till it was fried. Then I put the sausage in about 15 minutes till it was all ready.
And was it like kind of the ground sausage?
Yeah, it was ground sausage.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Then
Mild, spicy? What do you like?
Mild.
Mild, okay.
Then I put the potatoes in.
Ooh.
Diced potatoes.
Diced potatoes.
And now,
yeah, she says.
now I'm ready to put the eggs in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I should have been out here earlier to get all these steps.
Oh, yeah, well, you can watch me put the eggs in.
All right. What a man. Up on a Saturday morning, cooking for his friends. Now, is this that special pan we got you?
Yeah.
And what was this pan called?
A stew pot.
A stew pot.
Yeah.
You're the first man I've ever bought a pot for his birthday. But I'm glad we did and that you wanted it. Ooh, that looks, I'm going to zero in on this.
Okay, I'm just getting ready to put the eggs in now.
Okay, ooh, look at that. The sausage, the potatoes. Do I see onions in there?
I don't think
No,
so.
that's just potatoes. Okay.
Put the eggs in now.
It's smelling good. So it took you about an hour to get the fire going,
Yeah.
and then about how long does it take to cook?
About 3/4 hour or so.
Okay. And I'm telling you, it is the perfect weather day.
Oh my, yeah.
I think we've got the perfect weather weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Paul's health, we have not been able to be up to the mountains and seen our Amish family, and we have just missed them. Sometimes it would just bring tears in our eyes. We'd hang up from talking to them, and then we would be like, we miss them. So last night, coming here to this deer house, I just stayed overnight, and they're taking in the old and infirm for the weekend and treating us like royalty. And,
Okay. Now put it back on the fire.
okay. And there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll come back and show you when we're all ready to eat.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, I take it off the fire, like, when I put the eggs on, I take it off, I put it in the fire, take it out about every 2 to 3 minutes, then stir. The key is you don't want your eggs or your bacon to get burnt against the pot. So you gotta take it out, take it off, and stir it.
Okay. Every couple minutes.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It looks, it smells, everything is delicious. Okay, here we're ready to eat. Here is our breakfast stew. And also she made pancakes with bananas and whipped cream. Oh, and don't forget the syrup. That was a delicious pancakes, as well as the breakfast stew was out of this world. I had 3 helpings. And here was what's left in the pan for the next day. We ate half, and there was still all that left. Hats off to the cooks. It was yummy. View of the mountains, the views from the windows inside the house in every direction are gorgeous too. That farm was another farm that were friends of my parents, not like Carl and Hazel. And that's an Amish farm in the back. And that is the first 2 weeks after the fire in their extra barn, in their extra building is where the meals were prepared to care for everybody. That's where we had our breakfast made, to care for everybody. Out here I can hardly see what I'm filming, but here's the other side of the garden. Flowers, the backyard. Yes. And here's the back side of the house. The last little bit of flower gardens and garden. See there? Some of the horses' stalls. A little bit of corn over there. And just beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for joining me today at Marlene at Home. I really appreciate all my viewers watching.
I hope you're having just as beautiful an autumn as we're having, and we're rejoicing with the good news of Paul feeling well, and it's just been delightful to share this morning with you.